Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to the Hector LaSala Show, episode 6. October 31st, 2020. Happy Halloween. I'm joined today by a couple of guests. I have my father on to speak on the election. You know, old people with Facebook accounts, they go one of two ways. They either post a lot about politics, or they post beautiful pictures of butterflies and otherwise. Our first guest tonight, my lovely fiance, is joining me.
Hey.
Maddy!
What's going on?
So, how you feeling? You voted, right? So, you're feeling good about yourself?
I voted, yeah. I got my stupid sticker. So, there you go.
And how long did you stay in line?
Well, I went to vote the first day of early voting, which was October 24th. And I was online for 6 hours.
That is voter suppression? Yes?
At first, I was like, maybe, I don't know, maybe just everyone wanted to show out today. It was a nice day to stand in a line, I guess.
It's always a nice day to stand in line. Whether you're in line for fucking Backstreet Boy tickets, Green Bay Packer tickets, or to vote for the next leader of the free world, yes, stand in line.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. Despite the 6 hours, I will never forget this experience. It was an experience.
Yeah. I'll never forget the moment I shit my pants when I was digging in the dirt when I was 6 years old. And I had to tell my buddy, I'll be right back. And I ran in the house and realized that I had just shit my pants. Because I tried to fart, and it was one of those oopsies, and it turned into something more than just a fart.
It was liquid fart.
Yeah, so that's something I'll always remember as well.
I mean, don't we all have a similar story, I guess?
I don't want to hear about yours.
I wasn't going to say anything.
You can tell
it's
me.
Not about me.
You can tell me all about the times Cookie shit herself. And I'll just be like, oh, Cookie. What are you going to do?
Well.
Yeah, so how was that situation for you?
I would say I felt great after I voted. But the line itself, I mean, a lot happened in the 6 hours. I mean, I voted at City Hall in my hometown of New Rochelle, and the line was extremely long, and we passed near the police station, which is right next to City Hall, and there was some sort of protest, just impromptu. I happened to be online right in front of the police station when this happened, and it was, I don't know, it was just unexpected. Fuck the police. You killed my brother, blah, blah, blah. It was only a one-man protest, honestly.
Did he get the word out? Did he enact change?
He got the word out. He started standing in the street trying to get the word out. Then the police came and sort of, did a little semicircle around the guy. That does not end well. So then everyone, it was just more of a spectacle at that point. I mean, the whole, everybody online literally about face just to look at what was going on behind them. Like, it was our entertainment for like a half hour at most.
Yeah, that's when you should have cut the line. Because everybody was looking. And you just...
I'm a model citizen.
What
can I say?
I understand. And, you got really upset with me for when I went to go vote. And you're still upset with me. I can feel it. I feel the vibes.
It's a little tense.
I just think you're jealous
What?
that I didn't stand in line. I just walked 30 minutes into a very dangerous neighborhood.
You know, you had a weapon.
Yeah, you gave me your bear mace.
Yeah. What about that?
And
what about that?
On the way, I tried to use it like I was acting like I was James Bond, and I was like walking down the street, and like I turned quickly 30 degrees rather, and tried to shoot it at a fence, and it didn't work. And I realized you have to lift the little latch and then press it.
I mean, yeah.
Would have been nice to know. Well, you know, thankfully.
Listen, I mean, it's not like everyone knows how to use bear mace. Let's just, be real about it.
It's a novelty protection item. I understand. Here's the thing. I got there. The line was 1,000 miles long. And I realized that I'd probably gone at the worst possible time, which I thought was going to be the best possible time. A Tuesday at noon? Don't you people have jobs? No, because of Trump. So therefore, they're standing in line to vote him out. To which I said, we got this, New York. We're good. My vote doesn't matter until the Electoral College is abolished. And, yeah.
Well, I will just say this, and I'll leave it at that. And I won't say anything about your non-voting ass ever again. But I feel like since the last presidential election in which Trump won, I didn't vote. You didn't vote.
Nope.
I don't even know why I didn't vote. It just doesn't sound like me, but I did not vote.
Right. And so for this election, you felt like, well, this is the one.
Well, no, I didn't feel like this is the one. I felt like, well, damn, I made like a mistake. Like, I should have voted. Even though I know what you're going to say. I know.
Then break it down for me. Break it down for the people.
I'm just, the Electoral College, whatever the hell that is. I just felt like I did a disservice by not voting, and I needed to definitely, I don't know, kind of like make up for it. I don't know. There's not really much logic to it. I'm just saying, hey, I can vote. I'm gonna vote. A lot of people can't vote. They wish they could vote.
Yeah, those people... So,
you know what I mean? I just feel like I should always vote.
Those people who can't vote are illegal immigrants, people under the age of 17, and felons. So, are you voting on behalf of them?
Maybe the felons?
Yeah, the only felons I would allow to vote were for non-violent crimes. But that's not a ringing endorsement. We'll say that.
Yeah, alright. Okay. Anyways, I just had to do it for myself.
I get it.
That's it.
And you know what? You come from a proud family. You do things the right way, and I respect that.
I'm a goody two-shoes.
You are. You are the definition of a goody two-shoes, and I'm the definition of a rationalist anarchist. You know, I don't do things that are unnecessary when I know probably what's going to happen. And I told you this. If Biden, in fact, loses New York, you are allowed to spray me with that bear mace.
All right, you heard it here first.
You have to spray my wrists.
I guess. Wait, what?
I mean, I was just trying to throw that in there and see if you agreed with it.
No.
You want to spray me in the eyes?
I'm going right for the whole general face area.
That could take 15 to 30 minutes to sort out, and I may have to go to the hospital.
Well, I was thinking about you saying, oh, I tried to spray it on the street. What if there was a wind? It went back somebody walking behind you.
No.
You know, they just all of a sudden they feel attacked. Like they don't even know what happened. They just all of a sudden they can't. Their eyes are burning, and they drop the groceries, and the eggs break.
The mustard, because they're still buying.
The pasta bag spills open.
No, okay, so
the pigeons come out of nowhere.
Here's how I'll say this. You know, the recently opened empty lot that's on our street.
Okay, you know that lot has been there forever, right?
Right. So I took my time to spray into an empty lot of just overgrown.
What if there was a cat in there?
That cat's probably still not right. There was no fucking cat in there. And by the way, I sprayed the shit just to see what the consistency came out. It wasn't like I just like mauled down the whole open lot. I was just like, okay, so how does this work? Okay, I'm good. Psh. It was like less than a second worth of spraying.
All right. Yeah.
And now I really kind of want to use it. I feel like a gun enthusiast. Interesting.
Oh, interesting. All that gun talk.
Yeah, last episode I called some gun stores. And they really sold me on getting a fucking 9mm.
I mean,
for $350.
I heard the calls, and I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, they went on, some would say...
Oh, we got a SDB...
114 to...
A JKL...
No, 369.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get a gun, okay? And we'll put it in like a break and a use of emergency sort of thing.
With a little hammer.
Yeah, there'll be like a novelty size hammer. It's gonna be like the size of a toothpick, but you can crack the glass with it.
All right, that's the only way.
Ironically, we could use that hammer if it was full size to just actually murder the person that was breaking into our house.
I will say I'm all about those type of weapons.
Same here, because it's a power move. It's like, you're gonna break in my house? Yo, I have a baseball bat, and I'm gonna break it over your head if you come in my house and try to steal my TV, my PlayStation, of course, my lovely fiance.
Oh, yeah.
Lastly, my cat.
Oh, of course.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, it would be ideal to just use brute force.
Yeah, brute force. You don't need to like go to a brute force batting cage, get experience. I don't know.
What if they have a gun and you don't?
No,
you look
robbers
like an
have
asshole.
guns.
What?
No robbers have guns.
They almost exclusively have guns. What is your issue?
Oh no, whatever.
We're gonna go to the kiddie range when we get to Louisiana, and we're just gonna fire off at that like random person, and you just
silhouette.
Yeah, the silhouette. You get points for hitting them in the chest or the head, and I'm gonna show you my skills, and then you're gonna be either frightened or impressed.
All right.
Sounds good.
TBD.
Sounds good. All right, we'll get to some real broken news here. And then we got my dad coming up here right after. But I'm going to start with the Major League Baseball. Now, the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series.
Ooh.
Good for them. They've been in like the past 4 out of 5 years, and they lost every time, and this was pretty much it for them. Like, if they lost this one, they'd be a laughingstock. So, I know the main story is that the Tampa Bay Rays manager took out their pitcher, Snell. He took him out early because of analytics. So, all these nerdy people, they compile all the stats throughout the year in which they suggest to the manager, well, based on my statistics, you should take this guy out right now because based on my analytics, he does not perform the best on these circumstances. And meanwhile, Snell was killing the Dodgers. So the manager for the Rays overthought took the pitcher out. Boom. They lose the game. And afterwards, the best player for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mookie Betts, in a press conference came out and said, "Oh, we were just so relieved whenever Snell was out because he was dealing and we didn't have an answer for it."
Wow.
I mean, if that's not something you take home to bed with you as you...
For the rest of your life.
I mean, like...
The regret.
You need to get on some sort of medication, sir, for your erectile dysfunction that has just occurred after this terrible move.
Well, I find it really fascinating because I don't really know anything about baseball or, like, you know, most sports. But analytics, analyzing how a person, a human being, is going to perform, how is that even like something you would listen to? I don't know.
It's all numbers.
Talk to the guy. Hey, how you feeling today? Are you okay?
See?
Let's go. We're gonna do this.
Hey man, did you have diarrhea last night? Did your wife just give birth to a baby? Like, what, how you?
Are you hungry? Let's eat something. Right before. Let's go.
Do you need a taquito at this point? You need some Del Taco?
A shot, maybe?
Yeah, you need a little booze?
Let's go.
A little whiskey lip?
This is it.
So that was an interesting decision, but that got swept under the rug because Justin Turner, I think he plays third base for the Dodgers, he was pulled from the game after Major League Baseball called in to the Los Angeles Dodgers dugout and was like, "Hey, it turns out Justin Turner's test came back positive. He has COVID."
No!
He's played 7 innings at this point. So they take him out of the game. Of course, they still win. And then he's seen on the field. He has his it's a masquerade. You know, he has it off, he has it on at certain points, all these different pictures. But the final dose was him in the team photo after winning the World Series next to his manager who survived cancer.
Oh. And he was probably the one that got the call.
No.
Oh, okay.
The president of the team then called Dave Roberts, the manager, and said, "Hey, Dave Roberts, Justin Turner has COVID actively, and you need to take him out of the game right now. Major League Baseball just called and told us. And also, it's the 7th inning of Game 6 in the World Series." That's some tough nuts to crack. My point is,
I feel like everything went out the window, though.
He should not have been able to be on the field for that celebration after knowingly being positive for COVID. Here's the devil's advocate. Hey man, I just won the World Series.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go out there, fuck be damned. I don't care if there's a fucking baby or a wife with lymphoma. Let's do this.
Nobody remembered COVID at that moment. They were just like,
yeah.
We won the World Series. I don't know what they do.
They
pop
get
champagne or whatever.
Yeah, they pop champagne. They have orgies.
There's no Gatorade
it's a whole thing. With baseball.
Okay. Yeah.
But
good.
The main question is, what if this game actually went to a Game 7? Let's say the Rays win. It's tied 3-3. We go to a Game 7, and because Justin Turner was out there with all those other players from both teams, what if we have 6 to 7 starting players who test positive for COVID? We have to delay Game 7 of the World Series another week or two because of quarantine. The Major League Baseball is very, very lucky that the Dodgers took care of business. Sticky situation.
I feel like every sports story now has somebody has COVID now. It's like we can't get rid of it.
Yeah, no, it's not going anywhere. I know the death rate is low, but we don't know the lasting effects of it. No one does. So, look, Maddy, you and I, we feel like we had COVID back in the OG days, February. And who's to say if our brains aren't slowly just like cotton candying?
Well, that's lovely. Thanks.
I'm saying, worst case scenario, nobody knows what this shit is. Nobody knows what the lasting effects are. I mean, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, he got COVID. He came back, played like a shell of himself. Who knows?
Hey, that was my guy.
Yeah, that was your fantasy quarterback. That's unfortunate. So there's a lot of athletes, rappers voting for Trump publicly. Some of the newest ones to come out. Jack Nicholson, the golfer.
Wait, what? Jack Nicholson, the golfer?
Yeah, there's Jack.
Wait, Jack Nicholson?
Not the actor.
Comma, the golfer.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a golfer named Jack Nicholson. Okay.
Yeah. What's the actor that played the...
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The actor that, his name is Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. So this is the golfer. Very successful golfer.
Okay.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
You may know him from his work on the Kristen Cavallari show. Also, he played quarterback at some point for the Broncos and Bears. That is not as relevant as his role on a reality show, so that tells you what kind of quarterback he was. Probably Drew Brees, although he hasn't come out and said it. He basically did months before the season started.
We got your number.
Brett Favre made it known.
Brett Favre?
My childhood hero.
Does that change your opinion of him?
Favre has always been... I mean, I loved him right until the moment that he retired the first time, in which he was like... He was crying at his press conference, telling everybody, it's been great, I love Green Bay Packers, I'll always be a Packer, it's just time for me to leave. And then like 4 days later, he's like, I'm coming back. What housewife would you describe that as? What kind of energy is that?
Nene Leakes.
Right, like
she leaves the reunion, but she comes back anyways. It's like, oh, I thought you were leaving. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of like egotistical, narcissistic energy.
Yeah.
Like I'm the most important part of this, so I have the opportunity to leave and come when I go. And that's what led them to trade Brett Favre to the Jets and say, hey, guess what? Aaron Rodgers, he's pretty good. We like him. We like our chances with him. So Brett Favre, he had this whole reunited experience with the Green Bay Packers once he went through his failed career after he left the Packers. So he came back, made everything nice. He made it nice, and but now with this, playing golf with Trump, and then finding the need to let everybody know where he stands politically with such an unpopular position. I mean, I feel like anybody that comes out and endorses Trump publicly, it's like what would you even call that? Like a cry for help?
A career killer, maybe?
I would say maybe just a career relevance. They just want to be put...
Yeah, because it's like, who are these people?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I haven't thought about Brett Favre in 1,000 hours.
Yeah. Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler, exactly. Same thing.
That golfer. It's like, who are you guys? Oh, you want to, get on this, bandwagon waving a Trump flag.
I hope Fox News invites me for an interview. That could be an extra $60,000 for 30 minutes of banter about how I suck Trump's peen. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a cry for help.
Also,
Too bad, boys.
Yeah, we have the rappers too. I mean,
what?
There's Lil Wayne.
Oh no.
And he's a Packers fan, and so I hated Lil Wayne as a rapper when I was a youth. I thought he was, because back when I listened to music really regularly, it was a part of my life. Lil Wayne to me was a slap in the face to all the other great rappers out there. I mean, De La Soul, Common, Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Tribe Called Quest. And then there's Lil Wayne, and he's like, I'm gonna get my dick sucked. I'm gonna go that. Now, he has a couple of good songs, but he has like 800 songs, and 5 of them are listenable. But he then came out as a Packers fan, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And he's from New Orleans. That's what makes it even.
That's so
Yeah.
Drama. Yeah, controversial.
It almost put me and him on like the same career path, you know.
It's like,
we're from Louisiana, but we fuck with the Packers. Let's not be it. Let's put it out there.
And then he did that song. He did a song.
Yeah, he did Green and Yellow, Green and Yellow. Aaron Rodgers about to throw a touchdown. Da da da. Da da. Hey, exactly. Can you shut the fuck up, you dog? So, he posed with Trump and started talking about some platinum plan that Trump has. Here's the thing.
Platinum plan? Those are for the millionaires, the billionaires? The rich boys?
Lil Wayne came from nothing, built his empire, and is basically taking a green and yellow piss all over the very people that he came up with. Because he's like, I ain't letting no Joe Biden take my money. I make more than $400,000 a year. I could tell you that. You could take that to the bank.
Who else? Somebody else did that. Another rapper.
Oh, let's see. 50 Cent.
Oh, yes.
Kanye. Although I think Kanye maybe got paid to even appear on the ballot just to take voters away from Biden.
Biden?
Now, we watched the Kanye and Joe Rogan interview. Did you take anything away from that?
Woo! That was, for me, very tough to watch. And I'm a little concerned about him. That's what I got from that. Oh yes, he loves to watch movies. That's what I got from that interview.
Joe Rogan, do you understand? Like, okay, so, like, what I'm trying to say to you is that, like, okay, you have to be the hero of your own movie, okay? So, think about Star Wars. Who created Star Wars?
George Lucas.
Do you see what I'm saying? Luke, who was the hero of Star Wars?
Luke Scott.
George Lucas.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be the hero of their own shit. You know what I'm saying? And you watch The Mandalorian, you watch that Black Mirror. It's all coming into frame here. I'm a genius. I create symphonies with my rants, and I just come from all different places. I throw everything out there for everybody to come and listen to and make their own decisions. And yeah, what are you gonna do about this terrible Joe Rogan? Terrible Joe Rogan impression. I can't even do his voice. I would have to really try. But Joe Rogan's like, okay, alright, that's all great with all your symphonies and everything, but what would you do about healthcare? healthcare, it's all preventative. Like, you don't even need to get this disease if you just take your vitamins and, like, all this shit could have been avoided, fam. It's all about taking the necessary vitamins to make yourself strong enough to beat the coronavirus. And I'm opening groups in Haiti, and we're trying to make some things happen over there. So it's like, why did you get on the meds? I can't really get into that, but, I'm just saying, like, my family, and it's just like, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it was,
Was that basically the 3-hour interview?
Yeah, it was basically, like, I mean, I commend Joe Rogan because basically, like, Kanye was, like, floating away on a kite, and Joe just had to, like, reel him in once in a while, like, hey,
pull me down.
So let's get back to what I was asking before.
What about the policy changes that you're thinking about? Joe, I'm just, it's like I had to look up what Twitter was because I was like, what's the deal with this? How can I reach more followers? And
yeah, I still like Kanye's music.
From 10 years ago.
Old Kanye music.
Yeah.
So that's all I gotta say about that. I think he should open up his own compound and do his own thing. He has enough money, get enough land, get enough followers that will pay the minimum of attending this compound that you create. Just live there. Why not, right?
Well, I want him to be the next Jim Jones. I mean, if there's going to be a cult leader, I want this guy to be it. All right, we're going to move to some sports here real quick, and you can comment on this because you are, in fact, a female. You are a fiance.
Yeah.
And so is this bitch, except, her man's, he's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. And God, I can't wait to perfect that fucked out impression.
That's...
He sounds like fucking Kermit the Frog when he talks. So, this lady, they were together for...
Ever.
Yeah, like they met in high school or some shit. And she was asked about all the hate she gets. Let's see here.
This is definitely something that I have had to learn how to handle. At this point, I just don't respond to them anymore. I learned that the more I let them get to me, the more that's what they want to hear. So ultimately, I just don't respond. Yes, people can be very mean, but ultimately you have to have a tough skin and be strong and know that those people's opinions don't matter and just don't respond or engage with them at all on social media.
That's fair.
Solid advice.
Also, she looks like Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback from Clemson, who just recently tested positive for COVID.
I think I saw that today.
Yeah.
I was like, who's this guy? But
and yeah, she looks like a guy in a wig, yes?
It was an overcast day in that house, and she wasn't wearing any makeup. It's not a good look for anybody.
That's a tough draw when y'all met in high school, you're quote unquote in love, and Patrick Mahomes is now making hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's stuck with this Karen-sounding ugly broad.
I mean, he doesn't sound any better, so I guess they belong to each other.
Well, I just think we played really well against the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm happy to get a win, and my teammates played very well, and that's all I have to say about that.
My homie. He's not my homie, but...
This is more of what she had to say about their kids.
They have kids?
So we've never really put like a specific number on how many kids we want, but I would say probably around like 4.
Whoa!
Okay, so we've never really put like...
Yeah, great. We need as many Patrick Mahomes offspring as possible. I can't say the same for other certain types of people.
They're all gonna look like Steph Curry.
They're gonna be lighter than Steph Curry because
Yes, I know.
his
Genetics.
wife was even darker than he is.
Nah, they're about the same.
All right, they're gonna be
They're
bright, wonderful human beings that save the world.
Not that there's anything specifically wrong with that. Just
Netflix
saying.
is raising prices.
Yeah, so everybody that's on our Netflix, you gotta start paying up now. That's it.
Yeah, so go to all your family members that are all hogging one account and be like, yo, you're gonna have to Venmo me at least $6 a month for this shit.
I mean, smart move, I guess, but also...
Well, I think the pandemic has really helped them out because movies are now being released exclusively to Netflix. Movies that would otherwise be in the theaters. So I get it, but, you know.
I mean, let's just be real. Who is very desperate to go to an actual movie theater?
Yeah,
anymore.
Unless it's like a blockbuster film and there's a lot of explosions, and in that case, you should probably just kill yourself anyway because all those movies are garbage.
But, I mean, yeah, that's true. But just in general, all movie theaters are disgusting, and the floor is always sticky for some reason, and...
You have to wear your theater shoes.
Oh, yeah. Not your good stuff.
Yeah. Because you walk out there and you get stuck on the last step out of the theater. All the Coke and jujubes and snow caps and popcorn. You might as well just eat the bottom of your shoe when you're done. In Los Angeles, there are homeless encampments with Halloween decorations. Homeless people are decorating their tent / cot / whatever the hell they got going on there with a little bit of
Flair.
pizzazz. They got the little the fake what is it? Fake ghost. They got the little
fake spider webs.
the jack-o'-lantern. I mean, if you have the money for this, I don't think you're that far from buying a decent outfit and getting a job, maybe.
But there's people like that.
Or
right?
checking into a mental facility where you can get the proper help you need.
Some people like living on the street.
Some people like smoking crack for an entire lifetime, and I totally understand that decision, and I'm not against it or for it, but you don't need to rub it in our faces that you, in fact, are homeless and still managing to participate in the decorations of Halloween, especially in 2020.
I mean, what a year, though. I feel like we needed Halloween. Like, everyone needed Halloween.
Now with COVID, I mean, what? You get some candy from some people, you open that candy with your hands, you start eating it, boom, COVID. Can't we just go to fucking Walmart or order out and just have them shipped bags of candy? Look, whenever I was a kid, my dad did not believe in Halloween.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, especially for a fucking candy fiend like myself, where it was just like, these people, this is a Seinfeld bit, these people that we know are just giving out candy? You know, it's just like, you can't even fathom it in your mind. And it's just like, my dad is like, that is a Celtic religion from the 1850s where people celebrate the ghosts of the dead coming back to Earth. It's satanic. We will not be participating. We'll go to Pizza Playhouse.
Woohoo!
Which was actually a bomb-ass time. I had a lot of fun there. I got a lot of pizza. I won some tokens. And with all those tokens, I won I went and got like a bag of Tootsie Rolls that had 7 Tootsie Rolls in it.
That's not even the best candy, but good for you.
Yeah. Walmart. This is a 16-hour news cycle from Walmart. Walmart announced they're removing guns from the display rack inside of their stores nationwide because of the civil unrest going on and the election. 6 hours later, they reversed the decision to remove guns and put them right back up.
Someone was having a moment.
Anything to make a buck. That's good times, though. You know, I mean, like I said, with these gun store owners that I called, it's amazing. You know, the common theme last episode was I was calling as a person who was just generally interested in possibly buying a handgun to protect my family and my cat. And these dudes kept me on the line, like, trying to push their shit, like, this is the time to get it, you know? Bullets are going up, might as well buy low, sell high. Very bizarre.
Yeah, it almost, like, seemed like a different world. I've just never heard people talk like that about guns before.
Yeah, they were very open to everything.
Oh, yeah, you want a gun? Well, yeah, we have a lot.
This one guy was like, oh, you finally saw the light. I was like, what? Don't put words in my mouth, sir. I saw the fear. All right, I have my NFL Week 8 picks. And my record so far this year, 36-26. And I would say about 6 of those picks were bad beats. It's just one of those things where the kicker misses the kick, or somebody starts jacking off on the sideline and they forget to even run the play, or somebody falls in the end zone on accident, that kind of thing. You stick with me, you win money. So my Week 8 picks. And I gotta tell you, listeners, this is for your benefit, but ever since I started this podcast, every time I've spoken these picks into existence, my record hasn't been as good. So maybe I may take this away from you if this doesn't, in fact, go my way. But I'm still 36. I'm sorry, 36-26. I have the Dolphins, Bears, Colts teaser, meaning they all have to win the money line. I'm putting up $3 to win $31. That's a good one. I have the Raiders and Steelers to win as a teaser. $3 to win $16. I have Seattle, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh all to win. Put up 5 on that to win $26.50. I have the Eagles, Lions, and Buffalo Bills all winning. Put up 3 to win $14.90. I have San Francisco and New Orleans winning to put up 3 to win 7. I have the Packers and the Minnesota Vikings under, I believe it's 51 points. $5 to win $4.55. And I have the Bears winning outright. $3 to win $5 against the Saints. If you want to take any of those bets, chances are you'll win at least a little bit of money. Go to mybookie.ag. No, I'm not sponsored, but hopefully one day. And coming up here next is my father, Mr. Hector LaSala, to discuss the possibilities of the election coming up here in a handful of days. And he has some great insight, so I hope you listen. Maddy, Thank you for joining me. I
Oh,
really
okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
No problem.
And we're back with the Jesse LaSala Show. Special guest today, my father, Hector LaSala. Dad, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about y'all?
We're good. We're good. We're anxious to get out of the city and hunker down until this whole mess straightens itself out.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Well, okay, so the election is, 5 days away? And
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? What are your concerns?
Well, in fact, I've been reading a lot of stuff this morning because I've been busy this week. And it just seems like things are looking worse and worse for Trump. And this is by somebody who I think is one of the wisest men in terms of knowing how to assess polls and all that. And so the danger is that this guy doesn't like to lose. And then basically people like him always try to find a way to get out of the problems they themselves created, you know. And so I don't know. Of course, he's got the opportunity to claim that, you know, the votes were stolen. You know, he's got all the bullshit that he usually uses. And who knows? The danger is that not all, but most of his supporters believe all his lies. And these are pretty primitive people with weapons. So I'm really frightened that these guys are not going to take it easy. And they may just go out and create a lot of havoc, you know.
Yeah, well...
they're not going to be happy, and they're going to want to get even, and you know. So that's my fear.
What about him putting Amy Coney Barrett into the Senate? How much does that, do you think...
You mean the court?
Right. So she was involved in the Bush and Al Gore election, where there was the hanging Chad and all that fraud.
Yeah. No, she's definitely not. She's horrible.
Yeah.
And in fact, the more people are revealing, they're basically, it's almost like they call themselves Christians, but they're really a cult, a religious cult. And she is at the bottom of that kind of really narrow-minded religiosity, but all the more dangerous because so many people follow them, you know. But she is the worst. Oh my God. And so now with the court having all the votes, they can kind of basically begin to, address cases that are going to be raised. And of course, they're going to vote in favor of Trump.
Yeah.
It's already happening, you know.
The main concern I've seen so far is that she's already made proposals to refuse mail-in ballots, even if they were postmarked before November 3rd. So,
oh, yeah.
I mean, they came out today and admitted, like Trump said today, he was like, well, hopefully those votes won't count. And it's just like they're admitting that they're going to tamper with the election?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I've been reading this guy, and what he says is, because he was basically pretty accurate about the Clinton, I trust him. His polling is probably the most reputable. And he says that basically there's a lot of people who have left him behind, and they're not saying it. Usually because either the husband or the wife don't want to hear it, you know.
Right.
But narrowing his base. Because people who just didn't like Clinton, Hillary, voted for him, but those guys now, or those persons, are not on the same team anymore. But they're not saying it because they are in a group of people who basically would not probably take that well.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that, remember, 4 years have passed. So there are voters now that were 14, 4 years ago. And so that voter, and of course, they probably had not even been even wanting to vote, but now I think they see it as a responsibility that, of their future,
Right.
So I wouldn't take that lightly. I think that the young voters are definitely just offended by him, and I don't think that they will go for him,
If you go back to 2016 on election night, what was your confidence level as opposed to what it is, in these next few days?
Oh, I thought basically that Hillary was going to win. In fact, around 10 o'clock at night, when it hadn't been official, but I just knew he was going to win. I just stopped watching and came to bed, and I had probably the worst night of my life because I anticipated what it actually took place. This man is just evil and an idiot. He's not even a smart idiot. He's a stupid idiot. Evil person. But reading all these things that I've been reading today because I've been working full time on a job designing a house, so I haven't had a chance to really be as thorough. But some of the things I've read today makes me hopeful.
Right. Well, the polling thing, that to me is sort of, it's not the greatest barometer of how things will turn out because, in 2016, it was all set that Hillary was going to win by a long shot. And, you said, I was shocked. I was sick to my stomach. And here's my other question. When are we going to get rid of the Electoral College? Because if we go on the popular vote alone, Hillary would have won, and this whole debacle would have never happened.
I know. And that's the problem because the Republicans, basically they are a dying minority. And they will continue to be a dying minority if it wasn't for Fox, poisoning the brains. But my sense is that, so what they've done is that they have gerrymandered not only the United States, but even certain states.
Right.
The way that they configure it, they have made it such a way that it's no longer about who has the most votes, but the same thing about gerrymandering, I think that if this win takes place and we win the Senate and the House, which I think is possible, I think that kind of correction is going to have to be done. The question then is the court, and of course, being that they haven't been playing fair with the Supreme Court, like not letting Obama elect a candidate because there were 9 months to the election. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. And Mitch McConnell, his old dead ass, he was trying to tell everybody, oh, we don't do this kind of thing, and then here they go and do it.
So what they're telling Biden to do is to basically add more, and that's happened before in the past, to add more judges to the court.
Yeah, this happened hundreds of years ago with, Jefferson, and people added and subtracted.
Exactly. Through history, yeah. And by doing that, let's say that we go from 9 to 13, 4 more. I think that definitely would, because ultimately they can decide so much, and right now it's stuck up against us.
Well, what do you think about Biden as a candidate? Because me personally, I wanted Bernie Sanders. I knew that was like a pipe dream, but that was someone that I really felt could have shaken things up to the point where a lot more people would have voted.
No, not true, not true. I think, basically Sanders was my candidate too. The problem is that a lot of the middle voter would not have been as ready to vote for him as they are voting for Biden. So for right now, Biden is the best choice because we got to pull some of the middle conservatives who are offended by Trump. And he is basically a nice guy,
Right.
But you know what, though? I think that has been his posture. But I think that look at who he chose for vice president, right?
Yeah, a hard ass.
I think that he is going to basically have cabinets and decisions that will probably be more successful than if actually Sanders would have gotten in. My sense is it's kind of the same thing with Obama. I mean, he was a lot more radical than he actually let on because, of course, he was a black man. He has to be very careful. I think Biden is the same way. He's not just saying things that they can use against him, but deep down, he is for the right things, and I think he's going to make it happen.
What do you think about the allegations about Hunter Biden and this laptop and then the Ukraine deals and all that?
All bullshit. Look, basically, a misinformation mafia. Because Putin wants Trump to win, and they're the best. I mean, that's the one thing I'm afraid of is what the Russians are going to do, the hackers. Because I don't know if you heard the news last night, but they've been hacking hospitals. I mean, hospitals. It's almost saying, we can do this shit, man, And
well, how are they? Hold on. How are they hacking hospitals? In what way?
In disorganizing their information.
Oh.
And taking like data and all that. I mean, it was really serious. I mean, in fact, Rachel Maddow spent a whole hour discussing how the hospitals. So it's almost like a taunt. They're taunting us, saying, look, man, we own you. So what those guys can do in terms of hacking is probably the one weapon that we haven't really been exposed to. So that's my fear, that they're actually going to do something that will create havoc. Because they can, again, I don't know enough to know and tell you how it's going to be, but they definitely don't want Biden to win because they own Trump, man. I mean, Trump is so in debt,
Yeah, that's the thing. He was at one of his rallies, I guess a day or two ago, and of course all these rallies are just COVID super spreaders, and also leaving people out in the cold and in the heat equally, and it's just, and one of the things he said was, all these foreign leaders, they all want me to win because they don't want to deal with Sleepy Joe. And it's like, no, you asshole. It's because you're so stupid.
They can play you.
We can manipulate you any way we want.
I know.
It's ridiculous. What did you think of the six?
He wants to be a dictator. I mean, he's always been a dictator. So in a way, that's his temperament and the direction that he wants to go. So my fear is that they are going to come up with some way of saying that the thing was stolen, and they're not moving, and they're not moving away. They cannot accept the facts. And, that can be a serious crisis.
Yeah. And so that's like the worst case scenario, that this could drag on into, possibly next year. But an even worse case scenario, in my opinion, is if, in fact, he does lose fair and square somehow, and he becomes lame duck Trump, and he's just sitting there for, a month and a half or whatever it is, And what is he capable of doing in that time period before
Exactly.
he's supposed to leave?
Exactly. No, that's my nightmare. That is my nightmare. Because he can begin a war. He can send, whatever. And once you're in a war, can you imagine, trying to negotiate a transition from one person to another? No, with this guy, everything is possible. In other words, he has the lowest level brain functioning. He's worse than a snake, There's about 5, 6 different brains. But this guy has never grown away from the animal brain, which is all about self and about surrendering himself with only his things,
Oh, his ego is unleashed, out of control.
And so a loss would be something that, in knowing that once a Democrat is now as president, there's all kinds of things that he can go after him,
Yeah, it's
legally.
It's terrifying. And I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. I'm not even really that cool on Kamala Harris. She's done some shady shit in her past. So has Biden. But it's like picking between a 5-day-old soggy sandwich or actual dog shit on a hibachi grill.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take the soggy sandwich every time.
Yep. And, right now we're so divided that we needed to find somebody that somehow was able to draw from them. Because, look, progressives and liberals, man, we may be about 30%, So it's that middle that makes the decision. And that's why people like Sanders, would not have done much in terms of what Biden is doing,
Yeah.
So it's basically it's good enough. That's what I'm going by.
Yeah. I don't want to discourage anyone from voting, but it's so frustrating when people are talking about your vote counts, and in my mind it's just, well, your vote counts in about 12 states, and otherwise, however they voted for the past 10 to 15 to however many years, that's kind of where they're going to go.
But it's the electoral college that must go, because we're not a democracy. Basically, one person, one vote is not what's doing this.
Yeah.
And
right.
And now that we have come so close to the edge, those things that somehow we should have done a long time ago must be seen as a threat, where a minority can control the majority.
Right.
And a minority that is not interested in democracy. I mean, these guys, the way I hear them, they sound just like people from other countries that have dictatorships.
Yeah, it's scary. And also put in the fact that they're also a little not bright.
Oh, no.
I'm not a smart guy, but even I know when I hear a stupid person speaking, and it's a little tough to rationalize how those people are going to make decisions for not only themselves, but the entire country.
I think that the Obama two-term presidency just blew their minds.
Oh, yeah. They hated that they had a black president.
Yep.
And he wasn't even... He wasn't ghetto. He wasn't like going up there and rapping. I mean, the most black thing about him was that he played basketball. And that just blew people's minds. Oh, he took out the bowling alley in the White House and put a basketball court in? Oh, I'm outraged. It's disgusting. Those people are, well, they're special. They're special.
But they've been primed, basically, I don't know if you know, but Ronald Reagan is responsible for this, because prior to Ronald Reagan, any organization that broadcast news had to, by law, had to give both sides of the story. And Reagan got rid of that. And so basically that was the beginning of Rush Limbaugh and Fox News. And from that point on, these two sources, and and now of course websites and all that, they have basically primed the audiences to only know a very narrow and actually false narrative. And according to them, things are so different from what you and I know things are,
Yeah, it's
so
disgusting.
Their instinct is survival and hatred because they've been primed to think that way.
Have you ever shot a gun before?
Me,
Yeah.
no. One time I shot a rifle. When I was about 14, I think a friend of mine had a huge ranch, and we went hunting for deer. And I got so bored, I saw something in a tree. It wasn't a bird or anything. It's something. So let me see. And of course, they all came and shut me out because my shot scared the deer away.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
And
supposed
that's
to.
the
You're supposed
only
to just.
time.
You just have to go and just plant yourself in a situation for up to 14 hours just to let the deer come by you. It's so insane, but
It wasn't fun at all.
So you're not gonna ever own a gun even after this election, because I called a bunch of gun stores, sort of as a joke, just to kind of hear what they were saying about this election and gun sales.
Oh, you did? Wow.
And they all kind of agreed that yeah, gun sales went up. They spiked for a little bit, and now ammunition is twice or three times the amount that it usually is. So this is affecting people and starting to make them think that maybe they need to own a gun.
Yeah. No, I'm not into that.
Yeah. It would be a little bizarre to see you holding a gun. That would be like
It's the only time I ever fire anything. Oh no! Wait a minute. No. I forgot about the other one. I was probably maybe 6 years old, maybe 5.
Jesus, you're getting younger with this.
Wait. So my dad had a. What is the gun that doesn't have the round thing? It's it's flat. It's how do you call it?
A shotgun?
No. It was a handgun, but it wasn't the one that has the bullets on a circle. It's more of a.
Oh, it's like a 9mm pistol or something.
Exactly, one of those. And he had it in his table right next to his bed. And they both got up to do whatever, so I stayed in the bedroom, and I opened it, and I found it. And I took it out, and it went off.
Oh my God! See, you could have shot yourself in the face.
Exactly. And it went right into the corner between the ceiling and the wall. And my mom, of course, because I think my father had already left, but my mother, of course, almost fainted. And they came in. My hand felt like, vibrating, And of course, my little brother was in the room. Thank God, that I didn't. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Damn.
Oh my God, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I've only held one once. My buddy had one, and we were way out in the country, and we were just shooting cans and stuff. And I just held it, and I felt the weight of the gun itself, and I just put it back on the ground. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that.
It's not worth it. So, okay, let's move to Lafayette, where you're living right now. What are the COVID cases like, and how do you think Josh Guillory and Clay Higgins are doing their part in the leadership down there?
Oh, they're horrible. Josh, Ward's mayor, oh my God, he's just horrible. In fact, they posted a film of him, being a mayor on a city, handing out all this Trump shit, No, he's terrible. And the fact that we had Carly, the other, Democrat running, she was awesome. I mean, she was like, she would have been our best mayor yet, And that we showed this idiot is just unbelievable. Oh, and Higgins, my God, no, they're both troglodytes. Forget about it. They're like cavemen.
Well,
I hope that in 4 years we get rid of him because, Lafayette in some ways even have had even good Republican governors.
right, because they understand the culture and they want to keep things going.
Yeah, like Bowen. I mean, he was good. He didn't, do things as quickly and fast, but there was something about Lafayette that always had certain things that needed to be invested on, and whether it was Democrats or not, seemed like they all kind of had the same aims, But no, this guy is horrible. But the city still remains pretty much, what it was like when you were here.
Yeah, well, what's new in Lafayette? Are there any milestone changes within businesses, or have things been torn down that I would be shocked by?
The downtown is more happy. I mean, it's more alive now.
Really? Even more than when I was there? Because that place was always...
Yeah. In fact, I brought a friend to buy a bike, and he told me it was downtown. I said, a bike shop in downtown? So it took us a long time to find an empty spot, and it was on a weekday. And finally found a place to park, and I was waiting outside for him to go do the business. And I saw people walking everywhere. So I haven't been in 10 months. So I was really surprised that it was that active.
Right.
So it's good.
All right. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Halloween, and as a kid, and you as a father, you were very against this Halloween. And, I looked into it. It's like, basically the celebration of the devil and satanic beliefs by the Celtic festival on October 31st. And that's when they believe that ghosts of the dead return to the earth. And so at an early age, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact why you wouldn't want me to go get free candy for myself.
It wasn't that. I always found it silly, because I didn't grow up with it. I mean,
Right.
We don't have Halloween back home. And I always, I went along. People came to the house, we had candy, But it was never really, for some reason, I never really got into it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's as I got older and I actually got to dress up, maybe a handful of times that I even dressed up.
Yeah.
It was even ridiculous then, but it was just like an excuse for girls to dress very scantily clad, and guys to dress as either pilots, policemen, or I don't know, wearing a yoga or something, or what is it called? Just ridiculous costumes. And I don't like seeing people with the blood coming out of their face, and
Actually, what?
it just seems like a lot of effort for a really fruitless endeavor.
I know. No, that I didn't grow up with that, so it always seemed to me like, what the hell is this,
Yeah, well, to your credit, you let Mom buy us a bunch of candy, so it sufficed us. And we used to go to, Pizza Playhouse and get our yayas out for that night, so...
Exactly.
We made up for it in a better way, I would say.
Yeah, I think so, too.
So, the Saints. Let's move to the NFL. Have you been watching as much football as usual?
Not as much. I haven't been that excited. But I watched a couple... let's see. Oh, yeah, we watched the Green Bay. Who did they play last?
Well, yeah, the Packers played the Texans, and we wiped their ass pretty nice.
Yeah.
But,
No, but they won last week.
against Tampa Bay, yeah.
It was kind of close, yeah.
We got beat up there.
Yeah.
But what about, so the Saints, do you see any decline? Do you see them winning a Super Bowl this year, or... Are they kind of just, eh?
I haven't seen them play that much, but I think that one of the games that they lost was really just horrible. I don't know which one they're playing, but it was like it was their game, and somehow they just lost it.
Right. Well, I think
I don't know.
that may have been the Green Bay game, and that's one that I really wish I could have watched
Oh,
with you.
Green Bay, yes. That's it, yes.
And I continue to stand by this that if there would have been fans in the stands,
It would
definitely
have been different.
Green Bay
Yeah.
would have lost that game for sure. But the
Yeah,
fact that there
you're
were
right,
no
you're right,
fans,
yes.
it was very close.
That's the one that disappointed me, yeah.
Well, you're a Packers fan when they're not playing the Saints. I'd
Oh,
like to
no,
believe.
exactly. No, I like the Packers too, absolutely.
You're married into a Packers family. I hope you know. Well, I hope everything's
Anyway,
going okay.
listen,
You're still wearing your mask. You're exercising. You're doing well.
Yep. In fact, Sherry and I walk all the way to the river because the river is about maybe 3/4 of a mile. And so that way I can keep my heartbeat a little, working it out. Because the doctor told me that I need to probably do more exercise than I used to.
Yeah,
Well, that is pretty good, and very excited about you guys coming. Like I said, I hardly ever go there other than just to work. Like usually upstairs,
right.
So because Miguel has the apartment and he's fixed it up, so I think that he's going to stay there. Are you okay with living in the house, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're very low key. It's not like we're gonna be having parties or anything. We don't want to see anybody.
Everybody's so happy to see y'all.
Yeah, we just wanna reunite with the family, and I want everybody to get to know my lovely fiance Maddy a little more.
Yes.
And all in safe measures, because you have that lovely screen porch where you can put the fan on and have the windows open, and that cuts down any sort of transmission from what I've heard. So.
Yep.
It seems like a pretty safe gathering.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dad. Thank you so much for being on the show. And what do you want to tell anybody out there that's not voted yet? This is your last stand before the election occurs. Tell all my undecided listeners why they need to vote for Biden.
Well, I think that I came to the United States in 1966, and I love this country, and I've been through all the ups and downs, but I have never ever been more frightened of what we are now going through. And I'm coming from a country that has dictators, so I know how they act, and Trump is just one of them. And I'm afraid that if he gets 4 years, we will never, ever get it back, because the changes he and the Republicans will make, we cannot even imagine the kinds of things that these people can do. So we have to vote him out. It's not so much voting for Biden, but voting against him. Although there's all this independent other. I saw the tally in terms of all the people running for president. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, they got Kanye West out there voting. I mean, the dude's a lunatic. He makes great music, 10 years ago, but now he's a fucking lunatic.
So basically, it's between the two of them. And even though for you and me, it can be a C+, with maybe Obama being A-, got to vote for Biden, man. It has to be done, because too much is on the line. Too much. The world would be a different world with 4 years of that guy.
Oh, I know. And then not even to mention what happens next with, his dumb fuck kids coming in, or even Ivanka. Imagine if Ivanka is the first female president. What a slap in the face that would be to all females.
Oh, I know. No, we have to get rid of them. And it's not going to be easy, but we have to at least make it so that the numbers are so large that even at midnight on Tuesday, he's losing, big. So there's no doubt, because he's going to in any way exploit any kind of narrow voting. So we got to make it so clear that no, we don't want him.
Yeah.
He's out.
I agree. And best of luck to you. I'll check in on you on election night to see how you're doing, and hopefully we're celebrating instead of going to sleep
grieving.
Grieving, exactly. Thank you, Dad. Have a great night.
Yeah, give your girl a hug for me, okay?
Absolutely. Much love to you and the fam.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.